Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is David Palmer, the Leo King, and we are here live for Deep Astrology, your weekly forecast where I channel the astrology live on Facebook for you right now in the High Vibe Leo King Studios. And of course, then we look at the charts brought to you by Astro Gold. You can get it on iOS, and you can get it on Android and your MacBook, or of course, if you're on PC, get Solar Fire. Thank you for providing those charts for us, Astro Gold. And you know what? We are doing this for the week of March 12th through the 18th of 2019. We are almost to the end of Pisces season. Oh man, it has been a Pisces season. Have you felt like you're a little fish in the middle of a big ocean and you don't know where you're going? It's almost like Free Willy, but without being free and stuck in a weird tank. And what is this weird energy that you are caught up into? Now, this is actually one of the weirdest weeks you'll feel. And yeah, I'm being honest with you. And there's actually going to be a couple more weeks after this that'll be weird. But there's a lot of different forms of what weird is. I mean, confusion, of course, comes in Pisces with a Mercury retrograde in Pisces. But this is the week of the Sun square Jupiter in Sagittarius in its home sign. So welcome to try to understand a macro picture and a micro picture, which almost feel extremely on opposite ends, right? Because the micro is this very tiny Mercury in Pisces retrograde at its fall position. That means Mercury is not very strong in Pisces. It's actually at its weakest form because it is a wide universe out there, which Pisces represents the spiritual world, the other realms behind this reality that we don't understand completely. And so Mercury has a very tough time here, especially because it is also the ocean. And there is this element of, you know, like a little dinghy out in the ocean, or I like to say just like a little, you know, submarine in the middle of this huge 75% of this earth is water, and most of that is all ocean. So, you know, it's like we don't know how to understand everything going on right now. But when you have the Sun square Jupiter, which Jupiter is the biggest planet, the Sun, of course, is a star. It is our biggest energy here in our solar system at a battle. But the Sun is not in like its home sign. The Sun is in Pisces, where it's, you know, been stoned and, you know, LSD'd up in Neptune's energy since the new moon cycle. And you add to it this big Jupiter, right? It's trying to understand the future and where things are going and trying to stay positive when things are confusing or there's so many stories that are ending, right? Like, and it's about the Mercury retrograde, which does its Cassini point, which means the Sun and Mercury are going to come into their conjunction and square Jupiter at the same time. So talk about trying to understand things. I think there will be an understanding, but it will be kind of this from one small end to the biggest end and almost seeing like, how can we reach there? Oh my gosh. When you add to the moon, that's going to make its first quarter square in Gemini to the Sun in Pisces, we are going into mutable city, everybody. Mutability is all over the place. And a moon in Gemini that emotionally wants to communicate and understand what the emotions are feeling is coming into a hard combat position to Mercury retrograde. So, oh my gosh, Mercury retrograde in its fall position to the moon in Gemini, that is just like a Gemini running around going, I can't stand this. This person doesn't know this. I don't have the answer to this. The calculator batteries just went out and the computer is frozen. You know, there's a lot of this kind of like mental, and then on top of that, that big quarter square of the moon to the Sun adds that other element of mutability where here's our awareness, the Sun in Pisces just come off Neptune. And guess what? It's like, what the heck is going on? I don't know. There's so many questions that the moon wants, and I can't deliver them emotionally because I'm just stoned, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on anyway. So there's a lot of confusion, and then that moon opposes Jupiter as the Sun squaring Jupiter. So we get this huge T-square to the Sun, which is the Sun is feeling like, you know, some king in the middle of the ocean and everybody's wanting answers and it doesn't know what to get. I mean, it honestly is kind of like, well, we'll use President Trump, for example, with 1 billion, you know, media outlets going like, what's going on? And him just kind of throwing out, I don't know. You know, it's kind of like, it's just like, I mean, it's just like there's so much information that we want, but there's not a lot of filling in the gap. So I think a lot of this is, you know, us not freaking out that you know, there's so many things that things could be. or with Mercury retrograde in Pisces and square Jupiter and conjunct the Sun and square the Moon in Gemini, are you going backwards? Are you trying to maybe go, oh, maybe, you know what, I'm moving forward and I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I like moving forward. I think maybe I did the wrong thing. There's all this energy about, like, maybe I've done the wrong thing, because Mercury retrograde in Pisces starts bringing up all the karma that you've set. Kind of is like, you know, back scratching the record back and scratching it backwards and going, well, maybe when I, you know, maybe I need to play that song again. Maybe I need to go replay that. But with Mars this week, which is enshrined to Saturn, it's saying, you know what, this is about building this new, you know, higher realm in your life, building a better life. And you know what? It's not easy getting your hands dirty and building a new life, so why don't you think of it from a much more grounded approach instead of this insane mental, emotional approach? Because really this is a battle of intellect, this is a battle of our higher and lower mind, this is a battle of our confusion about us trying to understand if we've done things wrong or if the past is actually better than the new future we're stepping into. Remember, Uranus has entered into Taurus. We're here for 7 years with Uranus and Taurus. We're learning to build. We're learning to manifest. We're learning to find our best energy. And you know what? It's going to be about moving forward. And with Mars trine Saturn, it's saying let's move forward and make great things happen. But when you get all this crazy mutable energy and you get all this intensity, I'm telling you, it's just your own perception of things that are fucking things up, straight up. Like you are just like, you know, in a crazy fun house and not realizing that you're at a great fair, just right now you're in the fun house. So it's just a little bit like, just exit out of the fun house and keep staying forward and go back to that great new fair that you just entered. It's a little bit like entering into a fair and the first ride you go on is the fun house. Think of it that way. You still haven't seen all the great things like the petting zoo and I don't know, triple dipped, pig leg in chocolate. I don't know if that's what, toots your fancy, but it's a little bit like there's so many great things here at the fair. There's a great concert that's going to be happening later in the night. There's all these great things going on, but we're getting lost in the very beginning of this new entrance to this new world and to our new lives, and we're doubting ourselves. We're questioning if it's right. We're going into our karmic past and feeling guilty and starting to get on our hands and knees and pray to God. Like, I'm so sorry I did that, God. Why did I do this to myself? Why did I make this choice? This is Chiron and Aries, folks. Chiron and Aries is about, okay, you know what? We've done some funky stuff. We are on this new course of understanding who we are, and it feels uncomfortable. Chiron is not a very comfortable feeling because it brings us to being humble, and being humble in the aspect of we have to find courage and to move forward and take whatever has happened in Pisces with Chiron, and especially with Uranus and Aries that was over the last 8 years, and truly say, okay, that was what happened. This is where things are going now. This is not about going backwards and trying to repair things. Moving forward, Mars trine Saturn. The other big aspect this week is the Sun and Mercury retrograde are going to sextile Pluto, which Pluto is coming faster and faster to its 23rd degree of Capricorn, and the South Node is getting closer, and so we have this deep look this week about getting deeper into things about change. Change is something that is happening. And so instead of freaking out about the change and wanting to go backwards, it's about learning to understand that we have to make a commitment to change. If you commit to the change and stay committed instead of being in this half and half kind of, I don't know if you could say like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, how are you going to manifest? That's the whole thing is like, I think when it comes to this whole manifestation game and to when it really comes down to moving forward in your life, commitment, all in. Are you all in or are you not? Pisces is definitely one of those aspects where we question if we're all in or not. It is the most mutable of all signs. It is a water mutable sign, right? It is super, super changeable. So we change our minds quick, especially Mercury retrograde in Pisces. 1 minute you're like, oh yeah, I'm totally doing that. And the next minute you're like, no, I'm not. I don't think so. Maybe I should go back. Maybe I should go back into my old text messages. Maybe I should go back and look back at my old pictures on my Instagram and see, was that better than now? Or was now better than here? Or this is about making commitments to the future. And I know that's very difficult during this time because it's like, in order to get to that future, we got to erode the past. I mean, I'd love to go back to dinosaur times, but I don't know if I'd want to be, going to the store to get dinner and having to run by some raptors that are going to try and eat me every day. So I don't know if I want to replay the dinosaur past. Somehow, some conscious being or some conscious part of ourselves, or maybe even humans, we don't even know. That's the whole part of why Mercury in Pisces is at fault position is we don't really know. Was it humans that were there? Were humans there with dinosaurs? I don't know. Some of the scientists don't think so. Some scientists do. But there's a whole entire element of us having to not flip out because this is a flip out energy. The positive in this, though, is, man, the fun house could be really freaking fun because things are finally stimulating and things are stimulating for us to move forward. So if you look at the stimulation as like a tumbleweed that's starting to move, and tumbleweeds just don't go in one straight line. Tumbleweeds go from here to there to everywhere, and sometimes they go through ghost towns, and then you're like, oh God, I don't know if I want to be there. Because that ghost town is what you already were in the past. So there's a tumbleweed leaving the ghost town instead of you tumbling yourself back to the ghost town thinking, oh yeah, that I feel more comfortable sitting there on the ghost town and sitting on the patio and drinking a beer and watching something happen. Ain't gonna be going on, it's a ghost town. So that's where we could feel like we're in the nothingness or this inside-outside or 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because really the past that we're trying to go back to is a ghost town. Don't go back to no ghost towns, please, unless, you want to go for nostalgia, reasons. I'm a ghost town kind of connoisseur, if you didn't know. I've been to like pretty much every ghost town in the whole entire West Coast, literally. But you know what? This is not about going back to no ghost towns. Because if we really do look forward to, the sun this week is going to make a trine to the North Node of Cancer. It is going to sextile over to this South Node of Capricorn with Pluto, by the way. And so I think a lot about this is like, yeah, there's a lot of heavy energy in the South with this South Node and Pluto and Capricorn. And when you get a lot of heavy Pluto energy on the South Node, there's this part of ourselves that is having trouble with endings. We're having trouble with letting go. Because Pluto is all about death. Let's just go to the straight fact. Yes, it's about good orgasms. Yes, it's about truth. And yes, it's about revealing secrets. Yes, it's about a lot of things. But you know what? The main thing it's about is death and rebirth, okay? And this is about rebirthing, and I think this is where our hard time is rebirthing our reality, rebirthing a new structure and what that's going to look like. We all are having it in some place. Me, I need to restructure my reality with my day-to-day schedule. It's been difficult, but I know that that's at the bottom of what I need to change. For some people, oh man, there's that. And you know what? I think it goes into a lot of different areas. Because when you're dealing with Capricorn, you're dealing with multiple levels of your structure of your life, okay? And this is a part of ourselves where the sun in Pisces is saying, yeah, let's just like change this. Let's commit to the change. And I think that, with Mars and Taurus, it's about this slow, and with the trine to Saturn, slow step by step. Even if it takes you a week to just take off an hour change in your reality, at least you committed to that. And it helps build the tumbleweed keeps going, even though it's going to be a bouncing tumbleweed right now. But you know what? Tumbleweeds can lead us to great places. I mean, it's a little bit like city slickers trying to find the treasure. I mean, a little bit. I think that, we kind of feel like we're idiots up there on the horse, like in our total city outfits. Kind of, I don't know if you remember City Slickers. I mean, I don't know about the millennials. But anyway, this is like us kind of like being City Slickers looking for the treasure. And then is it fake? Is it not fake? Am I really an idiot for being out here right now trying to find this treasure? Is it really real? Well, the truth is that, you know what? The treasure is real. The treasure is you and you finding this new world, this new you, this new life. And I think with these nodal aspects right now, with the sun aspecting them in a positive aspect, this is about seeing beyond into the macro. This is Sun square Jupiter. This is not hopeless. The number one thing right now is that you need to realize that things are not hopeless. Because that is the number one test of a Sun in Pisces square Jupiter in Sagittarius. Jupiter in its home sign in Sagittarius is awesome, it's benefic, it's about seeing the beauty of life, that all the doors can open. But the Sun in Pisces is like, I don't know, I'm freaking in a hellhole right now, especially with Mercury retrograding in that sign, and we got Neptune there. You know what, we just are almost like concocting our own kind of delusional element of us like being hopeless. Especially a Sun square Jupiter in itself is a hopeless kind of like bad luck. I've got bad luck right now. This looks crappy. I don't think that this is the best horizon for me. You know, it's interesting. Do you realize that the term horizon is Horus's zone? That's when the sun is on the horizon. And Horus is the sun from Egyptian, and a lot of astrology comes from Egypt. And you need to realize that out on the horizon is Horus's zone. So you need to realize that the sun, every day as we're sitting here in our own weird, crazy, confused worlds of like, I don't think I can make this happen, and this looks like it's falling apart, and this fucking sucks. You got to really stop and like look out, whether you're on a farm, at the beach, on a mountain, in a trash can, in an apartment, wherever you could go see the sun. Notice when you look at that horizon line where the sun is, that every day that sun is on the horizon. And every year we watch the sun just move on that horizon line. That is Jesus walking on water, if you didn't know. And so I think it's important for us to look at and start to understand that every day that sun sits on the horizon, every day it is reliable. Every year. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world or the cosmos or anything like that. We can guarantee ourselves that the sun is going to be next week coming to its equinox point. I can guarantee you that one. You know why? Because there's one thing in the universe that is the most reliable thing in the whole entire universe, and that is the seasons. And that's why tropical astrology is the best fucking astrology on the planet, because you can only rely on the sun on its equinox and its solstice points. And that is what the horizon is all about. And guess what? That is the only hope that we truly have in this world. Not to tell you that we don't have hope. All I'm trying to tell you is that there is proof that there is hope in this world, because there is something reliable. Relationships aren't reliable. Cars aren't reliable. My mouth is not reliable at saying the right things at the right time. My hairdo is not reliable. Our bodies are not reliable. The only thing that's literally reliable in this world is that horizon line, and knowing that we are coming into spring, or we are coming into fall, or we are coming into summer. And that is why it is so important. And the other thing that is reliable is the planet's exact positions at the exact moment, at the exact time, mathematically. I know that's a lot, but I'm trying to just show people that, you know what, when you actually start to understand that in the world that we live in, we're the ones like little rats in the freaking cage creating our little chaos. And don't forget that we are in the year of the pig, okay? So don't start rolling around in the mud and start like getting mad at yourself, like, oh God, I'm just covered in mud and everything's just all, pfft. It's like, hello? We're in the year of the pig, like you're a pig, like we have to roll around in the mud a little bit to have some fun. Think of it like a mud, I'm not even gonna go there, you all know where I'm going. But you know, it's like, this is a great moment for us to see whether or not we are consciously freaking ourselves out and not moving into this awesome energy forward. Because even with Mercury retrograde this week, it's gonna sextile Pluto. And so in our heads, we got to look deep at not only the truth, but where we should commit things more in our life. But with Mercury backwards, you know, there is this element in this retrograde cycle where it's like, are we looking at commitments to go back into old commitments, especially with the South Node on Pluto? Old commitments that we think that somehow we did something wrong, somehow we can fix, somehow we can do, you know what? So how are you going to move forward if you don't finally cut the umbilical cord to the karma, cut the umbilical cord to the ghost town that you already know is there? I mean, taking pictures with you is fine. That's the whole thing about Pisces and Neptune and Pisces, is that brought out photography. That brought out, you know, I mean, honestly, it's artwork, it's video, it's, you can really go live there. You know what? With today's technology, you know what? If you want to go relive your life, right now I have all my VCR tapes of me as a kid growing up, and I'm converting them onto digital right now at my house. And you know what? I could literally, with my VR system, put my VR system in and play my old video cassettes and fucking literally relive my like seventh Christmas morning. Hanging out with my pops, making fun of my step-grandfather snoring. Like, you know, we need to move forward. Because next week, we come into Aries. We come into the 0 point of the zodiac. We come into the exaltation of the sun. And right now, we're not feeling a lot of the greater, vibes. We're not. Because we do come into this whole hopeless vibe. We're not hopeless, but we have to understand that it's our own identities that are creating this. It's our own selves that are sitting in the mud. And Mars and Taurus, even though I know it's a great place for Mars, even though it's a detriment, because it definitely saturates and understands and really tries to see a better life to move forward. And with the trine to Saturn, it's like Saturn's actually trying to work with Mars and be like, hey, I want you to go do things, and I'm in agreement. I kind of want you to go. Saturn sometimes, can definitely be one that says no, but Saturn is telling Mars yes, telling ourselves go to where that's that life. But, there's a lot of weird, sensitive issues here. And the sensitive issues are definitely our own case of not dealing with the past well, not dealing with how things turned out, not dealing with the way that Chiron left Pisces just weeks ago, not dealing well with pretty much how 2018 ended up. And we can't forget in the middle of this whole thing that we got Venus in Aquarius, which is getting ready for its square to Mars. And this Venus and Mars square that's building up is this passion. But you got to remember that this passion that's going on is about electrifying ourselves and connecting to new people and getting these projects off the ground by continuing to move into a better life forward. And you know what? There's this whole thing of like Mars square Venus and Taurus and Aquarius where it's like, well, I don't know if there's people good enough out there. I already think that I've already met those people, and I already think that those people are the best. I can't find better. There's like a freak out about ourselves about finding better people out there, or thinking that we've already found the best people and there's no way in hell that I'm going to find anybody else better out there. Or this project isn't going anywhere. It can't get any better. I've already fucking come into a road that it won't go any better. This is all of your delusional shit. We end this weekend with the moon in Leo, which will oppose Venus, by the way, which will be making its squares to Mars. And I think that this weekend is about finding happiness and passion in the better life and the more electric life. This weekend could change things for you on a dime, especially with Mercury coming off the sun coming to the last degrees of Pisces. Right before this full moon next week, that, by the way, is a full moon in Libra on the equinox. Next week's going to be major. That's why I'm saying this thing gets weirder and weirder and weirder as we go on to this retrograde over the next couple of weeks. But this is where we have to drop our hopeless vibe. We need to see a bigger picture. We need to be hopeful, and we need to believe that there's the best things coming for us and see them instead of seeing the delusion that the past holds the best things and not the future. Let's go into the charts. I do want to make a quick promotion for the Peace Dealer and I. Were here this weekend doing this awesome video, and we did, well, it wasn't even a video. We were here at the studios. We had an awesome audience, and we actually did a talk each about stepping through this portal. So the Peace Dealer did an hour, I did an hour. It's like an hour, or it's 2 hours and 17 minutes, and we had Sophia here as well. She did a 15-minute talk. So we have this awesome 2 hour and 15-minute video with 1 hour of the Peace Dealer, 1 hour of me. You can get it now at theleokingstore.com. It's pretty awesome because we go into Uranus, Taurus. We go into so much talking about what this new energy is from our own ways. And him and I do things differently, but also similar. And you know me, I drop some major bombs. So parental advisory on that one, mature audiences only. And then, of course, my monthly horoscope is on sale right now because we're not even halfway through the month. And here I am, and I want to give this away because there's so much valuable information in it. Also, highvibe.tv, the Lightworker School, is coming up at the end of this week. So make sure that you purchase it now to start the school. Every week we release a bunch of videos. Make sure that you join now at highvibe.tv. Check out the school. So, and I don't have a lot of time because I have to go DJ at Tower 12. If you're anywhere near LA or Hermosa Beach, I'm on at midnight tonight, and I got to go earlier to meet people and everything. So let's get this show on the road. March 12th, today, we've got the sun here at 22 degrees of Pisces. as we're talking, and look at this Jupiter. Oh boy, it's at 23. Now, you know what that means. Remember that the Earth is on a 23.5 degree axis, right? And this is what we call the precession as well, because Jupiter in sidereal is coming into Sag soon. So this Jupiter energy is very powerful right now. And with the Sun starting to make that trine to Jupiter, this is what I'm saying is Sun square Jupiter is a hopeless, or there's not enough doors opening. All you see is doors closing, doors closing. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm not going to get through this. I am just in the same place as you. So don't think that I'm trying to tell you that you're that way and I'm not that way. We're all going through this. Venus, 13 degrees of Aquarius. It is getting ready for that square to Mars like I talked about, but not yet. The moon in Gemini is stirring things up like tonight. That's why you are getting a little bit more of a crazy and more wild deep astrology tonight. But that moon is getting ready, and I will show you in the charts to make that big T-square. Mercury retrograde, 26 degrees. It is a very weird spot as Mercury has been retrograding since 29 degrees, the last degree of the zodiac. So this is where I'm saying the last 3 degrees of the zodiac are where people freak out. People literally freak out. And this is not a time for us to freak out. So let's move the chart forward, because you know what? This is where things get really interesting for Wednesday, the 13th of March. So 2309 is where Jupiter is on Wednesday. And look at this. The Sun will be at 2256, moving to 23 that day and making the square to Jupiter. And here's the moon forming this T-square, okay? And this is where this crazy energy starts to come in. But this is why I'm trying to tell you that Mars is trining Saturn exactly, 1818. And what is this saying? With all these emotions that are very intense and heavy, and trying to understand and figure out where things are going in life, and have so many questions with the square to Mercury retrograde, with the square to the Sun, and with also the square to Neptune itself, there's a lot of sensitivity emotionally and a lot of answers that we want to find. We want to find answers because we feel that we don't see any doors opening. We don't feel that we see all these doors. Like, all we think is we see nothing but closed doors, and we feel emotionally like, I need answers of other doors. Where are they? And it's looking to the Sun, it's looking to Mercury retrograde, which is probably also the worst place to look in the zodiac right now. Chiron's here, Mercury retrograde in Pisces is here in its fall, the Sun's in Pisces, and Neptune's in Pisces, which doesn't give answers. If you actually think that the Neptune in Pisces is just going to give you like a solid answer, oh, this is where we have to trust. This is where we have to go with the flow. This is where we have to listen to spirit. We need to watch beautiful things come from the universe. Like, the answer actually does not come in much more of a logical form. It comes forward as kind of a spiritual form. And I think that that's a big lesson of this week. But Mars trine Saturn is saying, go, go, go. And here's the Sun sextiling Pluto. So even though the Sun will be squaring Jupiter, the Sun does make a nice sextile to Pluto to kind of give us the power and the energy. But also, are we doubling down and going into the past and holding on? Or, getting stuck in kind of this heavier energy of like, I am not ready to end things. I am ready to keep trying to commit, trying to have it, and try and hold on. Capricorn doesn't like to let go of shit, right? We don't want to lose a business. We don't want to lose our fame. We don't want to lose our accomplishments. We don't want to lose things that we've had, that we've actually experienced to the max. That's what, what experiencing things to the max is Capricorn. And with Saturn there as well, with the South Node, there's this Saturn-Pluto of this part of ourselves afraid to truly let things go. Because usually in Pisces it's pretty easy. This isn't working. I'm out of here. I don't like the water. I'm swimming away. But, when Pluto and Saturn are in Capricorn, and the closest they've been in 35 years, and more importantly, the first time they've ever come this close since 1517, I guarantee you, especially with the South Node, that you have something that you do not want to let go of, and there's probably a couple things. And that's the whole point, is how do we get to this more comfortable place, is we do have to let go of some things that maybe we are holding so prestigious and so high, yet they are not what is really the place and where we need to go in our lives. And with Venus in Aquarius, this one's kind of the interesting one, it is in such a weird element, you know. It is this needing to see things in a multi-dimensional way, and more importantly, look into the future and find the exciting people, and that there is ways to figure these solutions. There are solutions. Solutions come through Aquarius, the genius. And Venus is here with our relationships and our projects to find new energy, to find good friends, to find people, to find the right team, to find the right energy, to ask for help to get through a lot of this stuff. And also to ask the help from the angels and the high above. I think that's an important aspect too. So as we move on, let's get to Thursday. Thursday's pretty, you know, The reason why is we do got the sun still finishing its square to Jupiter, which I think is kind of interesting. Oh, come on, there we go. And here we got this Cassini point coming up here with the Mercury crossing over the sun, okay? Because Mercury's going really fast in retrograde now, and the sun is going to go to 24. So March 14th really is this Sun, Mercury, square Jupiter. And I think that we come to the peak of what we think is pointless. Maybe we get news that's going to challenge us, or we look at things that are challenging into what we expect or want in life. With the moon here at the last degrees of Gemini moving into Cancer, where things get really emotional, to square Chiron, this is definitely a day that is kind of setting us up for some sort of letdown, but that letdown is only in our viewpoint, because the truth is, it's horrible chicken scratch, but I'll take it. Mars still trining over to Saturn, now starting to trine to Pluto. It's trying to say, come on, you have the power to move into a better life. And this is the beginning of this Uranus transit. Anytime Uranus comes into a sign and fully ingresses and is not going to retrograde back out of it, the true test happens at the first degree, which is 0 degree, because we're in between, you know, one side or the other. We're at a cusp, and this is about advancing your life into a better world. And so, you know what? Our viewpoint is pretty shitty on Wednesday and Thursday about how things are, but really it's our perception. We just need to hold the line to the better world. Hold the line to what we know is the best for us. It's more of a futuristic understanding. It's more of a futuristic look. It's more of what you know deep inside of your own worth that's better for you, and biting the bullet a little bit instead of expecting this really fast return of investment of, oh, I stepped forward. I'm already ready for everything in the universe to just show up and bring everything to me all at once on a silver platter right now. That's Taurus. I want it right friggin' now, totally. Give me the best thing. But Taurus also knows, I want the best wine, I want the best clothes, and I want the best this. I'm sorry, H&M doesn't have the best clothes. It's going to tear in 5 weeks. We all know that. I'm sorry, we know the best wine comes from the best parts of Napa and France, and we know that you just aren't going to go to Trader Joe's and get some $2 chuck, and I'm sorry to say, it is not the best wine. So you know what? We have to learn, not patience, but to understand we are putting orders in. This is not McDonald's fast food. If you really expect to be the best hamburger of your life going through a fast food place, I am sorry to say it won't happen. And that's the whole part about Uranus. It wants all the answers now, and that's why it's at fall position. Its worst position is Taurus, because there is no fast, quick solution to understanding the best part of our life. We've got to stay on the course and start to build it, and there's a little bit of that waiting. Nothing is better than smelling cooked food as it's being cooked and knowing that you're going to eat it, opposed to just like showing up. Why do you think In-N-Out has huge lines? Now, there's somebody, I know someone, I'm not even looking at the chat, but I already know someone's probably like, well, In-N-Out's fucking good. Well, it is fucking good, but you could smell that shit fucking driving In-N-Out a mile away. I don't smell shit going by a McDonald's except the trash can smell. But I think that this is one of those days, I'm just going to put it out there on the APV, you know, kind of like, that would be the kind of extreme day, you know, Thursday, and tripping things out. Like, you don't need to trip out. There's a lot of positive aspects that I think that are important. And, you know, I didn't even bring up that on the 13th, we do have the moon trine Venus for a second. But, I mean, it's just so fast. It really is just, like, I mean, and Venus is also semi-square over to Chiron. So when it comes to people and when it comes to things, maybe things don't go exactly the way that you want to. Or maybe you want a project to go a certain way. Or you get some news. And it's just like a tumbleweed that's tumbled from one end to the other, a little bit bouncy. It doesn't mean it's all over. It doesn't mean it's This is about you not going into this, it's over, it's done, it just isn't going to work, I can't do this anymore, I just am done. Because this Mercury retrograde conjunct the Sun, square Jupiter, is definitely a test of you seeing how weird life is and starting to see, okay, it's all right, there's another road or there's an option here, and maybe this is divine, whatever the stuff that is coming your way in messaging and so forth. Also, travel is not advised on Wednesday and Thursday. And, a lot of people wrote to me about all this Boeing 737 stuff and how for months, even at the beginning of the year in January in my 2019 horoscope, I told people that I felt that travel in March was definitely not the best friend. I'm just saying I think Wednesday and Thursday is just a little funky, all right? So putting that out there. Not putting doom and gloom. And what I've said to people is I said, put your hand on the plane, put your hand on the car, put your hand on the skateboard, put your hand on your fucking shoes. You know why? Because literally Pisces rules the feet. Why does Pisces rule the feet? Because we have a top part of our feet, which is aware and sees the reality. We have a bottom part of our feet every day that is in the unconscious, that's in the dirt, that can't see shit and gets crap on it. And that's why Pisces rules that duality, and it rules the feet. So think about, before you leave your house, go touch whatever shoes you're wearing and be like, these shoes are the best thing. I do not wear these shoes in the rain because I slip like a motherfucker. But I wear other shoes in the rain because I know I'll be good. It's not raining right now. All right, Friday. Things get much better. Reason why, Sun and Mercury are done with their retrograde spot of Mercury crossing the Sun, and especially it was not a fun one because it was squaring Jupiter, but now Mercury square Jupiter, but it's going to happen pretty fast, and this is where the residual element of us needing to continue to see things from a much more positive place. But Mercury's got Pluto supporting it, and I think that this is us realizing, okay, let's go deeper into things, let's commit to what is real, and let's see the positive, and we are fine. If we hold on to what we don't want to let go of, and we only see what is closing, then we're going to still be kind of in a slump. And especially when the moon is in Cancer, opposing Saturn and Pluto. I mean, I'd like to say this is better, but I think that this is us to teach us to grow up and to emotionally deal with our emotions better and our mental emotions better as well. Venus still in semi-square over to Chiron. Neptune semi-square over to Uranus. So we're dealing with Neptune and Venus also in a semi-sextile. So we are in a very kind of interesting energy Friday, but I think it's about learning to be tough, learning to emotionally feel things, and learning to grow up. And you know what? Things that we think are going to be a certain way might not be that way with Venus and Neptune. Venus, semi-square Chiron, definitely some weird energy going on and healing energy with people and projects. And then you got Neptune, of course, which is in that semi-square to Uranus still, which is causing a major freak out in the world as it is about this new world. So, let's not freak out yet, but this is definitely a day about emotional growth. Because if we can, when the moon's in Cancer, it's in its home sign, right? It's in dignity, and it's got the North Node there. And remember, Rahu and the moon is not easy because Rahu is a malefic, and the moon is sensitive, and we're in a very sensitive time. And with a Saturn opposing it, believe it or not, Saturn's trying to tell the moon, like, hey, don't get all crazy. I know that there's that crazy Rahu, dragon head, crazy person that wants to eat you emotionally, but you know what? Like, I'm here to actually guide you and say, like, find your stability, find your growth, and take stock in that. The moon will be trining over to Neptune to trust in the spirit, to trust in a lot of these things. The moon in Cancer's got a lot of water behind it. So there's a lot of water, but a lot of earth, and just this little fire and air. But you know what? I think that it's really remembering we're coming out of Pisces season this week. So every little bit of this week is growth. Every little bit is about, not drowning yourself in sorrows about things, the past, or things not looking up the way that you want them to go. Now, as we move on and we go on to Saturday on the 16th, we've got Venus now 18 degrees It's getting close to that square to Mars, okay? So we're going to build up this weekend into some sexual tension or creative tension. But again, this is where we start to come to the line of like, is there better out there for my project? Is there better out there from what I'm creating? Am I comfortable with this, or am I thinking that only the people I've had before are the best that I've ever had, and there's no way I can have better people out there? There's no way. Well, maybe there is. Maybe you got to look at things different. That's Mercury as well, still in sextile to Pluto. We need to look at things about change and understand change. The moon over Rahu and the North Node, but we'll officially cross that and gonna make squares to Uranus, okay? So definitely us seeing a different view, because the moon will come into Leo on Saturday, a different view from our heart, a different view about what we feel inside of our heart, about new circumstances to raise us higher. We're going to have to take our heart, we're going to have to take our courage, because even though Chiron in Aries is a courageous element, it's kind of more just the balls to just keep moving forward. But courage is having your heart behind everything. It's one thing to have courage to be like, okay, yeah, you know what, there's somebody in line there, you know, I remember, it's like being in high school and like, I dare you, and it's like, okay, I'll do it. It's like, not like your heart's in it. But with Leo, your heart's got to be into it, to take the courage to experience something different, try something else new to get your life better. With this Mars-Venus square that's going on, it's definitely bringing a lot of that up. And with Mercury retrograde, with Pluto, and by the way, that Sun-Mercury conjunction point was with the nodes, of seeing, like, there's a lot of destiny that's happening, and it's not the destiny of a downfall. I think that's the number one thing of the South Node of Pluto, is everything feels like it's destroying. Everything feels like it's being destructed. And so everything that you look at your life, you feel like it's just not going to go, or it's just being destroyed, when it's really not. It's just destroying and recreating a structure of change in your life. It doesn't mean it's being destroyed. Jupiter will always be looking after us through this whole entire year with the transit. You have to trust in that 100%. I am here to tell you, no matter what you're going through in your life right now, to 100% trust that shit is going to be okay, and that your whole life is not being destroyed, that the whole world is not being destroyed, and that everything is not being destroyed. And you're going to have to find some happiness, and you might need to find something to passionately get into, whether that is a blow-up doll, or a fucking creative project, or a relationship, or whatever. Mars, trine Venus coming up here is building that tension and that passion to get us through this. But you got to realize that there are new things, and you've never had them before. It's like, let's use the McDonald's analogy. I know it's crap, but you know what? Maybe they got a new burger we haven't tried, and we all don't know. Maybe it's real. I don't know. Or maybe there's a new vegan burger there that's the bomb or something. I don't know. And there's no way that we would ever think that McDonald's would make a great vegan burger, but they just might. You never know. That's the whole point of Venus square Mars, with Mars in its detriment and Venus in Aquarius. Is Venus in Aquarius wins in this one. It says, hey, there are actually new things out there. There are new ways, and there are solutions, and there are exciting people out there to make us get what we want. But it's stuff that we didn't think about before, or associate with before, or have tasted before. Venus is taste. It could be odd tastes. It's kind of like going on a taste tester, 31 flavors. Not everybody tastes the same either, if you know that. Know what I mean? Oh, hold on. Apple Pen here, if I can. There we go. Really? Oh, hold on. The tip. How funny, I'm talking about flavors and the tip falls off. All right, here. Sunday. Moon in Leo. Squaring the midpoint between Mars and Uranus here. Opposing Venus by the end of the day. It's actually going to be more into Monday. But I really feel that Sunday is kind of it's a weird place to be. And I think it's just really about finding happiness in a new place and really reevaluating what is going to make us feel happy, instead of like constantly looking for, oh, maybe this will make me more happy, or maybe this will be more happy. It's like, no, you know what? let's just take it all in. Let's just feel it all. What feels good? Let's try this. Moon opposed Venus, it's kind of like Moon and Leo's like, are you really wanting me to try that? Are you kidding me? I emotionally don't like that. It's like Venus is like, try it, taste it. No. Mars squaring the Moon too, right? Like, I don't know if I want to do that. It's like, I already know what's good for me. It's like, I already, like Moon, trust me, I'm flip of this, I'm very Leo Taurus, So I get this whole Aquarian thing of like, I don't know, that's funky energy. Well, maybe the funky energy might teach us that there are better things out there, because we're all at a place, I think, in our life where we just keep looking backwards and thinking that that's the best place, when really, let's go keep trying new things forward. If you keep trying new things forward, things will work out in a much better place. Now let's go to the last day, Monday. Monday, and Sunday. No, just kidding. That's, if you remember, old Simpsons stuff. The Moon in Leo, finally off the square to Mars, and it is in opposition to Venus, but it's trining the Moon, Jupiter. So we got this positive aspect coming into Monday, but the main thing here is to remember that we're coming into next week with the Sun finishing in Pisces, coming to the equinox point of 0 Aries, and coming on top of Chiron, not literally, but actually literally, yeah, and this full moon that's going to be coming in Libra at the 1st degree, okay? Or wherever that is right here. So once the moon comes in Virgo, we're going to get a big grand trine, all right? Energy going, especially with Mars trining Pluto, and this is going to give us the energy to move forward, but I got to remind people that the Sun at the last degrees of Pisces is hard. And with Mercury approaching Neptune, we're about to enter into even more weird energy. And I think it's this week, if we hold the positive outlook, if we hold that positive outlook, we can actually 100%, I know it in my heart, if we actually 100% do that, we are going to be okay. We're going to be okay. But if we go into next week with all this hopelessness and shit sucks and there's no way, we're going to go into next week and feel like the world's being destroyed, that we're being destroyed, there's no way out, and you know what, and with Mercury coming on top of Neptune for weeks, we can't step into this vibe of next week, especially because I just want to show you all real quick the last degrees of Pisces, which is Saturn and the deacons ruled, but more importantly, it is a very emotional place, okay? Because you got to remember that the fall position of Mercury, right? Let's see if I can turn this a different way here. Edit. Yeah, we can do this. Oh, yes. Okay. All right. Done. Oh, come on. Oh, saving photo. Hold on one sec. We're going to finish right here, but I just want to show you guys this into Pisces stuff into Aries, because this is what's coming up. And I think that this is what's going to help people understand what's going on. So look at this. So Pisces, which rules the feet, okay? It rules the feet. Mercury's in fall, Mercury's in detriment. It's not in good position there. And Mercury's in retrograde there. Venus is exalted. Venus is coming there soon, if you look at it. And Jupiter is also the original ruler, and Neptune, of course. Now, when you get to this last energy, okay, this last decan, the last, 6 degrees here of Pisces, things are hard. It's Mars and Saturn, the two malefics, okay? From 19 degrees to, I guess you could put it as from 18 to 30 degrees, this is where things get crazy. This is also where Neptune will get its craziest in 2020, because Neptune's coming to 18 this year and will finish in 18 in retrograde. We're not moving into this Mars-Saturn aspects yet. It even gets more intense by 21 degrees, which is 2020. Just putting that one out there. But anyway, it's very hard the last couple days. And right now we're at this week, 22, 23 degrees. It's on fevers. I've been noticing a lot of people have been sick lately. I'm not saying much people are going to get cancer and stuff, but we are kind of moving into where things get really hard. And that's why Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, and the last degrees of the last sign of the zodiac are the hardest. They are the hardest. and that all you have to live off of is a, believe it or not, a Saturnian masculine Aquarian seeing the future and trusting in the universe. Because when we get to that Aries point, which is so strong because it's Jupiter, Jupiter ruled Aries, Mars, Sun, Jupiter, ruler of the Mars, Sun is exalted. It is a very powerful position. And so that is where the full moon is coming next week. We want to step into this energy with the best energy and not have this crap show that we create for ourselves this week. Because I'm going to be honest with you, the other part of this crap show could be, this is where Disneyland is created. I mean, Walt Disney was at the end of his rope, literally had nothing left, lost the business, everything, and created Mickey freaking Mouse and just blew up. And now everybody's going to tell me he's all Illuminati and blah, 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 blah. I already know all your guys' crazy stuff that you're going to tell me. And I've heard it all, I've seen it all, and I agree with some of it, and blah, 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 blah. And I understand about Club 33. I understand all this stuff. I'm just trying to say that this is also a week of magic. And it's a week of magic to see how powerful your magic is. And I have had a past life regression many times in my life. And one of them was the most powerful one I had with Merlin. And what Merlin told me was about the spells that we create in our life. And right now there is a spell out there in the universe trying to tell you that everything is being destroyed and crappy and horrible. I am telling you it is not true. Look at the reality, look at Saturn, look at Mars, look at all the positives and moving forward. Do not think that because you moved forward into a new life that right away that it's shit and that you have to go back to Ghost Town, because that's what the dark wants. The dark doesn't want you moving forward. It wants you to stay in purgatory. It wants you to stay in the past. It does not want you to advance to the light, because you know what the light is? Taurus is the light. That's where all the Pleiades star system is. In tropical, it's more near the end. But you know what? This is really, truly about stepping into your highest being, stepping into a higher life, stepping into a higher vibe. And that first place it starts with is within you. That first place it starts with within you is whether or not you accept the changes that are happening and are going to commit to them and stay through the storm. We are in Pisces. We're in a heavy storm with Mercury retrograde and Neptune. And we have big squares to Jupiter, which does rule big over-intensifying energy in its home sign. So it's amplifying the craziness. And with the moon in Gemini this week and in Cancer, emotional, mentally, but there's excitement through all that. You can make it exciting. Enjoy it. Use this Mars square Venus that's building up. Use all this passion that's around. Find your creative energy. Use hopelessness to turn into ultimate supreme belief that you've got it. And I guarantee you that you can make it through this no problem. But just know it's always darkest before the dawn, and how bright the dawn is ahead. And I will see all of you next week.